Hi, this is Joshua Milligan with Resultant, and thank you for joining us for How-Tos with Tableau. Today we're going to consider how to pivot your data using Tableau. As an example, I have an Excel file here open with world population data. It's very human readable. It's got a list of countries down the side here, so one row per country, and then a column representing the population for each year. So 1960 all the way out to 2013. When I connect to that in Tableau, it comes in like this. I have a field for country name, I have a couple of indicator fields, and I have a field for each year, which is really the population for that year. And this kind of structure is usable in Tableau. I can create a visualization, I can use fields as filters, I could take that field and place it on color. And if I want to show the population growth over time, I can even bring in each one of these fields and place them on the axis. And once I have my measure values shelf, I could even select multiple fields at a time and drag and drop those. Ultimately, I could end up with a nice visualization. However, what I will notice are some limitations. For example, if I try to add a forecast, that option is grayed out. Trend lines looks like it's available, but I get an error message because measure names is discrete and it's not a date. So I've lost some functionality. What if I took that data set and transformed it? So I'm going to edit the data source. And I am going to take this wide data set where I have one measure spread out across multiple columns. I'm going to take all of those columns, selecting the first, scrolling over to the last, and holding down on Shift while I select to get them all. And then using the drop-down, I'm going to do what Tableau calls pivot. Some tools call this transpose or even unpivot, but the idea is that I took all of those columns and transformed them into rows. So now my data set is not just one row per country, it's one row per country per year. And I'll notice that I have a couple of columns now with pivot field names, pivot field values. I can rename those. This is the year. That used to be the header. And I'll give that the data type of a number. The pivot field values is really the population, so I'll double click and rename that one as well. Notice how much easier it is to use this data set. Now I can still have filters, I can still encode values by color or any other visual cue that I want to use. And I can still use year, but now instead of a single column per year, I have one field that represents year. I'm going to switch it to continuous so that I can have an axis of years. And then I'm going to bring population in. Again, it's just one field for population instead of a field for each year. Notice that Tableau now draws the visualization exactly how I want to see it. And I have all of the options for deeper analysis. I can add forecasts. I can add trend lines and do all kinds of things that I wasn't able to do when the data wasn't in the right structure. Thank you very much for joining us. Please like and subscribe, and if you're interested in learning more about Resultant's services and analytics, please check out resultant.com.